Good afternoon, or I guess it's still actually morning. So, good morning, and welcome to Blackstone Carp Presents. I'm out here on the Merrimack River today. I want to do some fishing up here. I had a short session the other day that I did on the last music video. So we've taken a canoe out, and we've traveled to another swim. It's a lot less pressured. I'm looking to hopefully get into some big fish. And I'm fairly confident today because the weather conditions are pretty good for it, and we got a good sign from the river. When we showed up at our swim, we found a friend, Sammy the Squirrel. And Sammy the Squirrel says, "You're gonna catch lots of fish, woo!" So, like I said, I'm excited. And if that's not enough, I prepared ahead of time, just in case. I mean, you don't usually find Lucky Charms just hanging about out in the banks, but you can find them at home. So we're not only gonna be lucky today, but we're gonna be double lucky today. We've got double luck sweet corn. So actually I guess it would be like triple luck because we've got a Lucky Charm and double luck corn. It's going to be a good day. So yeah, we're going to hopefully get into some big fish. I'm looking for some good fish for the Tux International Big Four. Yeah, just going to have some fun. We'll do some talking. I'll show you a bit about the baits I'm doing as I'm setting up here, and going to do probably an overnight, maybe 36 hours, maybe 24 hours. I don't know, it depends on how lazy I am tomorrow. I might fish full day tonight, and then full day tomorrow if it's fishing well. This river is typically produced well for me all times during the day, even in the really, really hot weather because it's tidal. You get a lot of cruising fish. So even in the high mid-90s, I mean, you still tend to pull a lot of good fish out of here in the heat of the day. So, you know, there's a good chance that I'll probably fish it all day tomorrow as well, but we'll see how this goes. I've never actually done an overnight session on the Merrimack, so I'm pretty excited about that. It could end in total disaster because, again, this is a tidal section, so it could be that I just get washed away and you guys never hear from me again, and I know that everybody would be sad about that, but I don't know. It's a risk I'm willing to take for the big fish. Anyway, let's cover bait. Right, so we're getting the first rod set up. I haven't actually got anything in the water yet. I'm going to do that now. I did get a bit of bait out there. You saw me earlier in the video, just getting a little bit of freebies out there. Not overbaiting the area. When I fish tidal water like this, I like to set out a bit of bait. I don't want a ton of it, just a bit of bait, enough to get a few fish nosing about, and then I'll continue feeding it all through the day, all through the session, little bits at a time, and just keep them coming in, because you're looking for big shoals cruising up and down the river, and it's just, you want to get them coming up, feeding and going out, coming up, feeding and going out, so you can keep consistent action through the day. So what Sammy suggests on the first rod is we're going to do a bit of Enterprise Fluoro Glow pop-up maize. And to that, I'm going to add a couple pieces of sweet corn, that double luck corn, because it's not lucky if it's not in the water. So we're going to put that in the water. I don't know if I need 2 or 3 pieces for this. I think I'll start 3 and I can always tear one off. Now, on the suggestion of my friend Mike Dennis, I have treated this double luck corn to even up my chances further with honey, because as he says, honey corn is the bait of champions. So we'll see. I'm gonna try it out, and if it doesn't work, Mike, I hate you. But if it does, I love you. You're awesome. Anyway, I'm gonna slide my large loop down over my Enterprise corn so that I don't need a bait stop. Just pull that up tight like that. And basically, a nice little piece of corn. I could probably take one of those off, but that'll be what I'm going to look for on that one. And then I'm going to get my Gardner bait bomb because I absolutely love this contraption. Put a small bit of method mix around this. I do have my PVA bags with me, and specifically as I get into the evening so I can create more beds, like really tight beds of freebies around my thing, I'm going to start doing some PVA bags. But right now what I'm going to do is this right here. I'm just going to have a bit of method mix right around the hook, keep it nice and packed down with the corn right around it. You can see I have a bunch of sweet corn in my method mix as well. And then when I put that out, I'm also going to throw a couple balls of just free method mix around to get them feeding. Again, that's got a lot of the sweet corn, a little bit of oats and chicken feed, you know, breadcrumb, things of that nature. So I'm going to throw, you know, 3 of those out there as well, and that'll be a pretty good trap that's going to lure in some big fish. Let's get it out there. Can't catch it while I'm talking to the camera. Look, this one's for careful carping. I put it on the inside, bud. Hey, Eric! What's that, Sammy? You should use Mistral baits on the other rod. All right, Sammy, I will. In fact, I'm going to use their Fluoro pop-up mix in Dayglow Yellow. I rolled these myself, and I absolutely love this mix. It's fantastic. Great color, just easy to make, and these make some fantastic, long-lasting pop-ups, just like that. And I'm going to put that over top of a nice Scopex boilie of mine, glugged in Irish cream. It's really, really nice. Put that on a simple blowback rig. And I'll slide that down. Find my bait stop. Bing, bing, bing. And figure out how to put it in the loop. Oh Lord, dropping everything. Alright, so we'll just get the bait stop on there like that. And one last thing that I do like to do is trim off at least just the edges a bit. Let that high leakage seep right out of there. Get a lot of attraction out of these baits. Really great pop-up. And the reason I like them, I mean, you can buy a lot of the store-bought ones too. Mistral makes some great pop-ups as well. The reason I like these is just you can tailor them to whatever you want. There you go. You basically simple rig like that. Pop up on top. And then again, trusty Gardner bait bomb. I'm going to toss in a few freebie boilies with that. Pack a nice bit of method around it. Couple good squeezes. It's starting to rain now too. I'm actually really excited about today. It's really kind of cloudy and gray. It's just been drizzling down on and off. There's a chance to be really good big fish weather. So I'm pretty excited about that. Make sure that's nice and evened up, tight, so it doesn't fall off. There we go. So the method ball right around my hook, bait happily behind it. And we'll make a few more. I'll make 2 or 3 free balls around that with some boilie and stuff mixed in. And again, hopefully it'll bring the fish into the area. Alright, bit of an update I suppose. It's been a few hours since we got set up here. I mean, we took our time this morning, so I wasn't rushing around because I know I'm pretty much going to do it overnight anyway. But it has been really slow, which I kind of expected because we were getting here as the tide was going out. And we were well past high tide already, so a lot of times action tends to be on the switches of the tide, or if you're on the switches of the tide and then you get them feeding, a lot of times they'll stick around even through the tide switch. So you'll have them all through the day. But considering we just got here a little bit ago, we didn't have any food out there on this last tide. So, you know, they aren't really hanging around. Occasionally you'll get some resident fish or cruisers, but that didn't happen right now. My hopes were, when we came out today, was to get set up so that as the tide switched from low into the slack tide and then switched back up, that all through the rising tide, high tide, and then into the evening we would have fish. And then because we have the food out there and keep the food out there, that fish will hang around all through that tide evening. Then as the tide's going back out to low tide and even back again, then we'll just keep them in the area, hopefully, so that we can get, you know, some decent fish feeding and bring a few to the banks. That being said, I've just had a recast and gotten everything freshened up and back out there. Same bait, keeping those on for now. If I start seeing a bunch of fish crashing or showing, then I'll change up my baits a little bit. But usually once they get into the area, they're not too fussy and they'll try a lot of different things. But you know, the pop-up maze has worked very well, and the Mistral baits, the double boilies, have worked very well here. Snowman rigs, very good. But you know, we've already talked about that, so I'm not going to go into a ton of it here. But like I said, right now we're pretty much on that slack tide, just about to make the change to start rising back up again. And then the high tide is going to be, I believe, around 4:30 p.m. or so. It's just about probably 12:31 p.m. now, so it'll be interesting to see what the afternoon is going to bring. Still pretty hazy, cloud cover overall. A few random showers, really quick showers, like 30-second, slight rains. There's some chance of some thunderstorms later on this afternoon. It's a very small chance, but again, all of that weather could bring some good fish. I'm not really going to fish if we start getting thunderstorms. I'll bring the rods in or whatever and wait it out. But nothing like waving a lightning rod around on the banks to get yourself killed. And no fish is worth that. But leading up to a storm and after a storm can produce some very good fish. So I don't mind being out here during it, but we'll see. There's definitely been some crashes around me, though I think a lot of them have been striped bass. I don't think that they've been carp yet so far, but I will keep my eyes open. I'm hoping that we'll start to see the shoals move in, and it's a pretty interesting thing when they start moving in. I mean, you can actually see them kind of moving up the river. You see a lot of fish start crashing, well down river, and then they'll start moving up, and then you'll see them over your swim, hopefully, if you're lucky. And if you've done your job, they'll come in. But I'm going to have some lunch here in a minute, and then I can talk a bit about the reason that I chose to fish this spot and some of the more watercraft elements that went into me sitting on the banks here, because that's a big part of fishing, especially over here. If you can't find the fish, you're not going to get any. So looking for likely holding places and things of that nature is really key to having some good sessions along some of these big rivers. But I'm starving right now, so we can do some lunch. Alright, first fish to break the silence here. Nice 15-pound, 3-ounce. Gorgeous river common. One heck of a big paddle on this thing. Look at the size of that tail right there. That's a massive tail. Big fish, 15 pounds, 3 ounces. Gorgeous river common right there. This was on the Enterprise pop-up. A couple pieces of the honey sweet corn. Fantastic thing. Gorgeous. Get shot with those bitches and big mean lips. Alright, we get back in the water. got a screaming take on this one, on the Mistral Boilies. And poor little bugger. He's just under 13 pounds, 12 pounds, 11 ounces. He's just a funny looking little fish. He's got a bit of a hunchback there. His tail's got a swipe out of it. He's just in sad shape. Putting him back in the water real quick. But I'm definitely happy to get it, and it shows that those shoals are moving in. So I still see some fish jumping. I'm gonna stop talking, get it back in the water, and catch some more.